let's talk about new tracks that we went to this year. Right? Which ones did you check off your list this year?
This year, Atlantic City for TQs.
Oh, yep.
I went there, and
How was that?
so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm going back next year. It was a blast because
Do we know when it is already?
yeah, it's sometime in January, like mid-January. The thing is that when you're in the off season, you don't see many people for a while, so it's almost like a reunion in a way,
is.
Right.
Yeah.
because a lot of people from up here go down for that event.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot more laid back compared to a typical race night. Well, maybe for me because I don't race, but like there's so many people. The TQs are insane to watch in person. It's a tiny track. There's 15, 18 of them, and they just zoom by lap after lap after lap, and they have some gnarly wrecks in those things.
What
and
is the
champ
track?
carts.
Is it like an eighth of a mile? Like how tiny is it?
It's
Yeah,
really
and
tiny.
it's like a slick track, man. It's like all looks like glass.
Yeah.
It's like concrete,
Yeah.
and like they put some sticky stuff on it. I'm not sure how small it is, but it's tiny. And then afterwards, we all hang out at the Wild Wild West, and that's a wild good time. yeah.
Yeah. So what other ones have you gone to?
Lebanon Valley, my first
how
dirt
was
track. That was cool. That was cool. Getting to see the big block modifieds for the first time in person.
Yeah.
Those things are beasts.
Yeah.
And I was sitting right at the entrance of turn 1 where they're at top speed, and they just whip it into the corner. And you wonder how they can make it through, but those guys, they got some boldness, to say the least, with how they drive those cars
No, it
around
is.
that
It
track.
is impressive.
It's fast.
Well, it looks like they're about to weight shift flip every quarter,
Yeah.
basically, right?
Yeah.
Blow over.
Yep. No, that's
No,
not a
not a
freaking
blowover.
blowover, Diego.
No, it was cool. That was my first ever dirt race.
Yep.
I went with the Gamba Cordas, and I would go again. It was a really cool experience.
Half mile?
Yeah, it's a half-mile dirt
Ooh.
track.
Oh, that's fun.
And everyone parks in the infield.
So
Leb-
fun fact, they have the Musco lighting, the water truck, and was there a go-kart track in the middle?
I'm not sure because the infield was packed with
pitting.
haulers. Yeah. Not pitting, like, well, there's a pit road, but like all
I
the
understand
teams
what you're
park
saying.
in there, yeah.
Like the paddock.
Sid,
yeah,
you
yeah.
ever been to a dirt race?
No, what I was saying was, I did the doc on Whip City, and what's the guy there? Commander, right? That owns Lebanon Valley? Howie Commander?
I don't know.
I think that's who it is. Anyways, he went to the auction when Whip City closed down.
bought the lighting?
Bought the Musco lighting, the water truck, and he said the whole go-kart operation, but I don't know if they still have go-kart races there. I mean, that was 14 years ago. But so some of what was at Whip City was there.
Yeah.
You said it's a half a mile?
Yeah, it's a half mile.
That, see, for like to asphalt racing guys, like that doesn't sound like a lot, but a half mile for them is basically a super speedway.
and it's
I mean,
long
that's crazy.
straightaways.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
long
That's gotta
straightaways
be
and
insane.
tighter turns. And
'Cause-
the Hodgdons were there. I ran into them at Lebanon
Right.
Valley. 'Cause-
Knoxville also has a half mile, right?
Dude,
Yeah, Knoxville's a half
Yeah.
mile. Eldora's a half mile too.
They
I
have a
think.
cool
Yeah.
little dirt track up at Loudon Weekend. They run.
Oh, right behind the track.
They run the big blocks.
Oh, really?
Legend cars. Oh, dude, it was a lot of fun.
Those big blocks are insane.
Yeah, and they
900
sound
horsepower.
so good.
I'm glad I had earplugs.
Yeah, they
They're
do.
loud.
Did you get dirty?
No, did not get dirty. The track didn't get too dry.
Yeah.
And like anything that got tossed up in the air was just straight up. Nothing got blown back towards us. So
Yeah.
I kind of lucked out. My first impression of Lebanon Valley was that flies don't taste good because I swallowed a fly the instant I
How
got
did
to
you
the
do?
track.
How did you do that? You got
Well,
long.
we open our mouths in life, so that was a weird phrase. Okay, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I was taking a breath. I was taking. So what new tracks have y'all gone to?
Well, I went to Thunder Road for the first time.
Yeah,
I went to
here.
its sister track, White Mountain, for the first time.
Same.
Seekonk, also a new one for me.
Thunder Road.
Awesome.
Great track, right?
Awesome. Dude,
I love that
racing,
track.
the racing is almost as good as the aesthetics. I'll say that. That track, the facility is like a work of art. It's genuinely beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good track. I enjoy it a lot.
Yep. And I went to Bristol for the first time for the Cup race in the
Oh,
spring.
yeah.
Not the fall one, the spring race.
Yeah,
that was banging.
That was an
Awesome
action-packed
race.
race. So I haven't gone to White Mountain yet. I
Really?
was thinking about going this year, but I decided not to. How is White Mountain?
It's nice,
cool.
but I wouldn't say it's Thunder Road. If you
But
like,
it still has the aesthetics,
yes,
right?
it's similar. It's similar.
I could see y'all because
You
your
see-
bright orange shirts were in the backstretch the whole time
Right.
during the tri-track race.
It definitely.
No, that was during the act race.
Oh,
Yeah,
my bad.
yeah.
My bad.
So the track, it's like when you're sitting in the stands, or I was on the tower. It's almost like the front stretch is lower than the. It's kind of like they drive up on the turn to the.
Oh, really?
To the
There's
back-
elevation
to the
changes.
Yeah,
back-
very
yeah.
weird sort of banking.
North
happening
Wilkesboro's
there.
like that.
And then the pits are behind that, and then the mountains are behind that. So
Yeah.
it is kind of a really kind of an awesome site. It actually reminded me a little bit of Seekonk and the fact that there didn't really seem to be a true straightaway there.
Yeah.
Maybe on the front stretch a little bit more than the back stretch. So it was almost it almost looked like they were running like a D-shaped groove a little bit.
Yes.
But I thought it was a cool track.
It's got decent banking, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they never really were pointed straight. I mean they were basically apexing the straightaway.
Yeah.
Down the middle of the straight. It also had this like huge opening on the backstretch that I thought was gonna like cause a problem in the race. I was like, man, if they're wrecking and they're pointed the wrong way in there, like.
Do you know how many racetracks have openings on the back
No,
straightaway?
I know, but that one
It's
seemed
a lot more
especially-
common than you think. Thunder Road
Are you
didn't have
talking
walls
about
for a long time.
You're talking about
Yeah.
no wall,
Right.
opening. That's what you're talking about.
You basically, it's like Star Speedway, where if you go down the backstretch and you just keep going straight, it's open. You just go right in the pits.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I did like it. I don't know if any track left like the visual impression on me this year that Thunder Road did in terms of like it felt like a freaking national park out there almost.
You wouldn't
But yet
think
there was
when
racing.
you entered the track that there'd be a racetrack there.
Right, not
Yeah.
at all. Not
White
at all.
Mountain has that a little bit.
Does
Yeah,
it?
the scenery
Yeah.
at White Mountain's fantastic. Like the backdrop's great.
But even still, like when you're driving down the road, it's almost like you don't see the racetrack.
Right.
I drove right by it.
Oh yeah, we did.
And then I had to turn around and go
Yeah.
back, and it's like, oh, it's back behind here. Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
like Thunder Road, you walk in, the track's down there.
Yeah.
It's like Seekonk. You're going down to the track.
Yeah.
So you have no idea there's a quarter-mile high bank track when you walk into
Right.
the parking lot.
Yeah. So White Mountain and Thunder Road, those were the only two new ones for me. I think. Yeah.
How was Seekonk for you, Rob?
I actually quite liked it. I thought, dude, the racing, again, like I was saying to them last week, it's weird to watch it on video because like you can tell that there's a lot of good battles going on, but like you don't get the feeling of actually sitting there and seeing all the battles going on at once. You're like, this is actually crazy.
That
Because,
street stock race
Dude,
had a
it's
lot of
so
action.
multi-groove at every point in the track. There were points, even in the heat races for the late models, I didn't know where to look.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
Remy?
The facility was very industrial. Like,
Okay, forget Remy then, I guess.
Oh, sorry. Remy, go ahead.
Well, I went kind of to the same place, like Thunder Road, White Mountain, Seekonk.
First time to Thompson, though.
First time at Thompson. That's
Wow, that's
also it.
unbelievable. to
Right?
me.
Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
Yes.
I kind of forgot about it because like I went there twice this year. So it's like I felt like I was already there because I went during the icebreaker and that's so far long ago.
Right.
So you went to 4 new racetracks this year.
Yeah.
Nice. Spread your wings.
I know it's crazy. Did a lot of miles. Well, technically Sid did the miles for most of them. I was in the car.
Yeah,
and
well, I
it
was going to
felt
say,
like a lot.
we rode a lot of miles.
I was about to say she was in the car trying to figure out that the Christophers were actually twins.
Oh, yeah.
What I told
That
them.
was this year, dude. That feels ancient now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really does.
Diego,
Sid.
did you go into any new tracks this year?
Yes. Went to Hickory.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
How was
That's
that?
true.
Yeah, that's where the stars of NASCAR were born. It amazes me when I go down there. You know, the history of NASCAR down at tracks like that is crazy. But
Yeah.
you know, you go to a track like that, and only because Brody was there, so I got to see a lot of stuff like happening, like concrete patches in the asphalt.
Those surfaces are rough.
They're really rough, and
Oh, yeah.
people are using them as like landmarks on where to put their car
Get that grip.
all the way through the track. So, you know, that was the one track. So it was really cool to be there. The other thing that I got to enjoy this year was a full-blown Cars Tour event at Tri-County.
That's a great track for
Great
racing.
track.
Tri-County.
They are awesome. The track is awesome. You know that I want to hear something. I want to hear something really crazy. So we delivered all those tractor trailers down there. So you got to meet a lot of the owners of Tri-County who were hanging out in our trailer. They rented the track for the day. How much do you think the Cars Tour event paid to rent the track? Because that's what happens. They go in like JDV, they rent the track,
I never really knew how much it would cost.
I mean, if you had to put any sort of number value, would you say 30,000, 20,000?
I feel like that might be a little high.
Yeah, you know what they rent the track that the cars tour for?
How much?
2,500 for the night.
Wow.
Really?
That is cheap.
2,500 for the night, right? They fill the pit area. There was more cars than they knew what to do in there. $5 to get in, and the place was asshole to asshole packed.
Wow.
I've never heard that phrase for a sellout in my life.
So,
I like it.
So the food and everything, Tri-County got to sell, but they had their own bean, butter, whatever his name is.
Butterbean.
Butterbean. They all had their own trailers because they let him do that. It was like an event, you know, like $5 to get in. How could you beat it to go watch a full blown everything?
That's a track down south that I would go to, Tri-County. That looks like a
Fun.
really good track with really good racing.
For sure.
Modifieds or fenders.
Oh yeah, they do run the mods there too, don't they?
The smart modifieds
Yeah.
have run down there before.
So yeah, those are my two events.
Nothing up in the New England.
I've been. I haven't been to the tracks that you've been to, but you know, I ran Marshall Series for 2
Yeah.
years. I hit just about every track. We never went to White Mountain or Thunder Road,
Yep.
but everything Star, all those. I've been there 3, 4, 5 times at least.
Gosh, could you imagine a truck race at Thunder Road? Like the truck tour? That'd be
Right.
something. Seeing those trucks race around Thunder Road.
So what other tracks are on your, like, for me, Oxford Plains is still on my list of tracks I got to go to.
I want to go to the Oxford 250 at
Yeah.
some point. That's on my bucket list. I want to go to Riverhead at some point.
Yep,
never been there.
Been there as well. Yep.
I'd
When
like
it comes to local short tracks, White Mountain. I've been to Star. I mean, I haven't been to many of the New Hampshire tracks like Hudson, Claremont, those tracks. I haven't really been up there. North Wilkesboro would be cool,
Yeah.
You know
like
what'd be
down
good?
south.
5 Flags would be great.
I was just gonna say that. I've been
Dude,
thinking about trying to
of
get there.
all racing, like I mean, listen, all your Thunder Road and
Like the
everything.
Derby.
Those sound great, but I really want to go to the Snowball.
Dude,
That'd be a cool event.
I need to get.
They say it's just
Right.
it's a massive event. I mean, they say it's just so cool, just to you know what.
Well, there's like a 2-month span where it's the only freaking asphalt racing happening.
Yeah, but
really?
they get all the who's
Yeah, I believe it.
of
Oh
drivers
yeah, the
there.
entry lists are gigantic.
They
Yeah.
got Kyle Busch in that bitch sometimes.
All
It's
of them. Bubba Pop.
Kyle Busch and that bitch.
great. He is. He brings a 51. I mean, I don't know. He's kind of sad recently.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out like what track I'd want to go to next. Like, what
Lebanon
is-
Valley's on my list too.
I recommend
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's not that far. I mean, I'm not sure how far it is from here, but from where I am, it's an hour and a half. It's not
yeah,
that bad.
I think
a
it's
drive.
2.5 hours from here.
Yeah,